Hare Krishna, Namaste. We have been discussing about animal sacrifice, ahimsa, meat eating, and so forth. On those lines, we received a question asking, can we have pet animals at homes? We see at some homes they have dog, cat, or sometimes more than one dogs, cats. Some have fish tanks, birds. Also we hear some have some unusual animals as their pet. Besides having pets for fun or as a hobby or for various other reasons like security, etc., we also hear that these pet animals may bring some benefits at home. Reduces stress, anxiety, bring calmness, reduces blood pressure, lower heart attacks, prevention of allergy, alleviation of depression, motivates kids in their learnings, and moreover, one get engaged in physical activities. And there could be many other benefits. Besides all these various reasons, it is also giving a protection and care for some animals. Won't it fall under the principle of ahimsa? Shouldn't each home have at least one pet? These questions are very logic, sounds very reasonable. Before we respond to these questions, just wanted to make sure to make a disclaimer that those who have no faith in Vedas or those who have faith in Vedas but doesn't have much understanding of it, those who doesn't follow any religion or doesn't have any spiritual practices, those who are not vegetarian may not appreciate the response that are going to be given now. So they may choose not to hear any further of what is going to be said here. This is for those who follow spiritual practices at home, who has some religious understanding. For those people of such category who are planning to have pets, or if they already have pets at home, to consider the case seriously. And humbly request them to hear this with open mind. With that said, let's see the response. From the spiritual perspective, it is not recommended to have pets at home. Let's understand, no one can be so caring, loving of living entities than the Vedas, than the great sages. That Vedas and great sages have not recommended having pets at home. Now let's see few points why not. First point, we must take care of them nicely, treat them well. If we see our daily schedule, it is already packed to do so many activities, spiritual activities and also household activities. We have to do our daily sadhana, nityanushtanam. Our consciousness is to develop towards Krishna. Whatever we do, whatever we eat, etc., should be revolving around Krishna. Besides that, we must also go to work, take care of many other household things. If someone says, well, besides my spiritual practices and household things, I can still take care of the pets, that means actually it could mean two things. Number one, we are borrowing our time of spiritual practices, or we are borrowing time from our household things to take care of the pets. Number two, if one says, no, I'm not compromising my spiritual practices, I'm not compromising my household things, they are all going as per the plan, I have some extra time to take care of the pets, that means we are limiting our spiritual practices or household responsibilities. Because if we have extra time, we can do more sadhana, more devotional service. Therefore, either way, it is not good. Scriptures have not given us time to take care of pets. It has really kept us super busy from the time we get up to the time we go to bed. That is how a day is being divided. A day is divided into 5 parts: Abhigamanam, Upadhanam, Ijya, Swadhyayam, and Yogam. This is called Panchakala Prakriya. How one should get engaged spiritually in devotional service in a day. So there is no time for one to take care of pets. One may ask, well, looks like Vedas doesn't care for animals. That is not true. We have studied several times that how, as a Grahastha, one must perform Panchamaha Yajna, 5 sacrifices that one must do every day. One of that is Bhuta Yajna, taking care of other living entities. Also, we learnt that Vedas highly recommend Ahimsa, but that does not mean that we have to keep them in our homes. That is not what scripture says. You take care of them, you treat all equally, doesn't mean we live with them. Doesn't mean how well you take care of these pets. Still, it is not recommended. Now let's see the second point. If we are having pets at home, then obviously we need to feed them their food, whatever the food that they eat. If we are vegetarian, then obviously how are we going to feed them food that they eat? If we say that our pets are also vegetarian, then we are going against to their natural food. That is not good for them, for their system. There is a saying that a tiger may starve but will never eat grass. If we are trying to change the nature of those animals, then we are going against to their system. So simply saying, I am vegetarian and I give vegetarian food to my pets, dogs, cats, cannot be accepted. Or if someone says, well, I am a vegetarian, but I give the pets their food, dog food, cat food, etc. If we say that, that means then we are not really vegetarian, because we already learned that those who consume meat, those who buy meat, those who feed others meat, even though they may be vegetarian, they are all equally considered to be meat eaters. One may say, well, but I am giving these meat to the animals which is their natural food. What is wrong in that? Two response to that. That is not what we want to do, being a vegetarian. Number two, again, those food are commercial, which means those food surely will have violence in it to produce dog food, cat food, etc. So that is second point. We are depriving the animals from their natural food, or we are committing sins by providing their food. I don't think we need any further points to discuss. These points should be good enough to make a decision, but still we'll go ahead and share few other points as well. Let's see the third point. We are talking about ahimsa. Having the animal or bird in a restricted area, in a cage or in a home, having them chained, etc. All these are not good for those creatures. These all falls under himsa, violence. Even if one says that I take care of my pet very nicely, like my child, I love my pet, it doesn't matter. We are stealing their freedom, its natural life. Even if we provide a golden cage for a parrot, even if we provide a best bedding for our dogs, they are restricted. Human likes to live with human. Animal likes to live with animals. One may say, well, if I don't take care of these pets, who will take care of them then? First response is we have enough things to take care of in our life. We have no time for taking care of pets. Even if we have time, then how many pets, how many animals are we going to take care? One may say, well, I can't take care of all the animals, but to my capacity, I can at least help one or two by giving shelter to them. Answer is, yes, it is a good intention, but it is not necessary that we need to have them at home to provide our support to them. There are many other ways that we can support animals without having them at home. In fact, there are tens and hundreds of small creatures in and around our houses which can be taken care. Taken care meaning we can avoid killing them, rather we can give something to them for their survival. We can stop slapping on a mosquito. We can stop stamping on an ant. All these are also taking care of other entities. By taking care of just dogs and cats and things like that, but killing other insects doesn't go hand in hand. It means we have a nature of duplicity. Now let's move on to the fourth point. These animals which are bound within a limited area or restricted even to address their nature call. They are given a certain time, certain place. They are fully dependent on their owner. Just imagine putting ourselves in such a situation. If we want to address the nature call, if I have to take permission from someone, if I have to only do such things in a certain time, how fun will that be? We are trying to change the behaviors of animals like human to bring them into certain system. They are animals, they are not human. They have to be left the way that they have their life. Those pets which are not trained, then they will do those things within the house wherever they want and whenever they want. That's another problem. We become their servant to take care of their things. Also, a trained pet, when it's taken for walk for its nature call, if one is in countries like America, it is the owner's responsibility to pick those things by their hands. They can't just let it there and keep walking. Doesn't matter if a person is wearing a gloves or not, but it's been touched. Is it really needed that one must go through things to this extent? Instead, those people who have such a high level of tolerance, patience, compassion can volunteer to an aged people home or to an orphan homes and take care of them, serve them. Such people are also really in need of help, and we can let these animals lead their natural life. We must know the fact that pet has become another big business. They produce more dogs, cats, and etc. If there are no consumers, they will not do that. Now let's see one more point. Fifth point. When we have pets at home, especially the dogs and cats, the house is actually said to be unclean. We can see hairs all over the places, nook and corners, on the couch. They walk like a king wherever they like. They pretty much occupy all spaces in the house. This is not good either. Having the parts of these pets in and around the house is not a good sign for the family. It is considered inauspicious. It is also said any good deeds that's done in the home where the pet is present, the dog is present, the benefits of all the good deeds will be taken away. by some negative force. And also such homes becomes disqualified to perform any religious activities like puja, yaga, homa, etc. It is important that we educate ourselves about what extent that we have to take care of these animals. Is it really necessary that we need to have them in the house? And we also educate our children because most of the time the influence comes through the children to have pets. Before we conclude, let's learn something from Ramayana. Who can be more loving, more caring for the living entities than Lord Ramachandra? When Lord Ramachandra was leaving Ayodhya in exile, not just human, not just the citizens of Ayodhya were fainting off, were crying. It was even the animals, trees, they were also lamenting. That shows Rama's love towards them and their love towards Lord Ramachandra. After Lord Rama was coronated, Rama informed Sugriva to return to Kishkinda and also informed Vibhishana to return to Lanka. Sugriva and Vibhishana were too attached to Lord Rama and they didn't want to return to their respective place. But Lord Rama gently informed and made them understand that Ayodhya is a place for human. Kishkinda is a place for Vanaras. Lanka is a place for Rakshasas. So better we all live in our respective places. Also, this distance will not reduce one's love for each other. We all maintain our status of what we are, who we are. So let these animals be wherever they're supposed to be. Let them be happy. If we don't do that, we are not following ahimsa. Doesn't matter whatever the reason that we give to justify to have the pets at home. The truth is, we are committing violence. So kindly consider what has been said here and do rightful thing. For those who are scholarly people may argue, what about Lord Chaitanya, who was fond of a puppy? What about Lord Dattatreya, whom we see with a dog? What about Sivananda Sena in Chaitanya Charitamrita, who was looking for the lost dog? And what about King Yudhishthira, who was accompanied by a dog as he was ascending to heaven? To all these reasonable questions, we have answered them in chapter 16, verse 7, part 4 and 5. Kindly listen to them to get clarity on these questions. Just before we conclude, there are possible two questions may arise. Number one, what about cows then? Can we have cows? Answer is certainly we can. The scriptures allows having cow shed. We can certainly have animals for farming purposes as well. But again, even those animals, we don't keep them inside the house. Cows are very special, especially those who build new homes and does puja. They pray to cows. They do go puja. They let the cow to enter the house first. So the scriptures have given clear direction what to do, what not to do, what are allowed, what are not allowed inside the house. Another question may come, if we cannot have pets in home, then why are we having some animals in the temple like elephant? Some places have horses. Let's understand the purpose of having elephant in the temple is to completely dedicate that elephant in the service of the Lord, to carry the Lord on its back, or to have the elephant go in front of the Lord as a procession. We cannot bring that point as a justification to have dogs and cats inside our house. We cannot use these animals in service of the Lord. Again, please do not pick up on a topic of we are not treating animals equally. In the society, every entity has its own role, its own position. Let's not try to change the nature. Let's abide to the laws of the nature. It is hard to answer certain questions because some of them are very sentimental, but since the question has been raised, the truth has been spoken. We kindly request to those who are considering to have a pet and those who already have a pet to put some thoughts around these reasons and make some right choices. Thank you. Hare Krishna.